Oh, I knew everybody'd stick around because I have such an enchanting guest here. I'm so happy to have Elaine Alcorn on the show, one of the few female magicians, although we talked a bit, there's almost a plethora now as opposed to several years ago. And we talked again. I was joking when I said women look better in skimpy outfits than men, unless you're a Chippendale. Then the G-string's all good. But what is the appeal with the women versus the men? I mean, usually it's the guy up there in the tux cutting the lady in half, but everybody loves the assistant. I don't know if it's because they feel sorry for her getting cut in half. So is the appeal like in the Olympics, the wonderful costumes and the girls are like the butterflies, the glitter?
I think being a woman, it opens a door to femininity that maybe you might be afraid to open if you're a man. So we can wear brighter colors. We have our hair out. Things are happening. It's a little bit of freedom there that a tuxedo or a bow tie wouldn't give you.
Interesting. I like that analogy there. And you must sweat buckets with all the lights, right? I mean, you glow. Women glow. We don't
glisten.
Sweat. You glisten. So, you must sweat buckets up there. I guess maybe that's why the outfits are kind of maybe one of the reasons so skimpy. But, yeah, that's kind of, well, I'm sure you look darling in your outfit. I think we have a picture. So were there any women, I don't like to keep saying female, any women magicians that inspired you? I think Melinda Sachs was a little bit before your time, but you've mentioned Connie Boyd.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about Connie for a minute.
Connie Boyd actually has influenced me more than any other magician. She's my boss.
Oh, good. How did you meet her?
Well, she was looking for a female magician in Vegas, and she asked around, and I was recommended to her.
What year was this? It was a little timeline.
I think it was about 2.5 years ago.
So she needed a female magician.
Yes.
For one or
yeah, she's been doing these shows on the Costa line. She has Illusions. She has the Beauty of Magic. She has Chicks with Tricks.
Well, I like that. That's catchy.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's all about how the feminine side of magic.
I love it.
Is a nice way to bring like female magicians to the surface of the magic world. She is actually wanting to bring Chicks with Tricks to Vegas.
Well, it sounds like it would fit perfectly on the Strip. Seriously, think about it. I mean, there's a double entendre there. But, so you actually went to audition for Connie?
I didn't. So many people sent me to her. She put her feelers out. We know a lot of the same people. And a lady named Juliana Chen recommended me. And then she asked around, and all of our mutual friends were like, you guys would make a great fit. And then when I met her, I was like, oh, I really want to work for this woman. And I've learned so much from her. Yes, I've learned a lot from Connie Boyd.
Does she have any shows now in town? I'm not really up on the...
Not at the moment. She has done a lot of shows here in Vegas. Right now she's focusing on the international market.
Right.
But she wants to come back. So.
Well, if I had a choice, let's see, work on the Strip in the summer or go on a cruise ship,
I know. It's not a hard life.
No, not at all. What was your first real gig when you got to Vegas after you jumped the train from the circus? I just had to throw that out there for people who didn't see the first section.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think it was like 2 weeks into being here, I auditioned for a show in the sky, and I got hired. I didn't have to look around that much. I stayed a show in the sky for a while.
Right. What did you do there?
A dancer.
And when did the acrobats kick in, though?
Oh, I was training. I had to train really hard because to transition from a dancer to an aerialist, it's a little bit easier than starting from scratch, but it is a long transition. It took me about 6 years before I started performing, and then 10 years to really come into myself.
So along the lines of Cirque, I'm sure you're more than familiar with those shows here in town. Did you ever audition for them? Or?
I did a couple times, but I like the smaller markets sometimes. I like when people know your name and you're not just a number in a show.
When are you going on this cruise ship adventure?
I will be leaving September 2nd.
Oh my goodness,
It's
that's
coming
right
up
around
fast.
the corner. That's exciting.
Yeah.
A little note here, because I do feel really bad. You know, the earthquakes in Italy yesterday, that's really turned into a catastrophic event. It started out as an earthquake, and now they're finding it was really a lot more catastrophic. But you're going to be on the ocean, so you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, it comes with its own fun
Right.
shakes and rattles and rolls.
It does that. Have you ever been injured while you were training? Or
Oh,
that's my
yes.
fear. That's when I look at acrobatics and aerialists and I worry about it.
Well, it happens, yes. And
Just-
I've definitely had my share of injuries on the
You
way.
slipped, you fell, what?
One time I was paralyzed for about a month. I couldn't move my entire right side. My arm was dead. I had use of my left arm, but I was totally paralyzed for a month. And then it took me about a year to get back to full functioning, and then I moved on.
But that must have been really scary.
Yeah, it's scary because everything that you've worked for your entire life can be gone in a flash. And just if I never could do it again, my heart would break.
So you would take the risk to fulfill the desire.
You have
again.
to.
Yeah, I guess you
have
would.
to live your life. Otherwise, you're just waiting to die.
Oh, interesting. I like that. We should all take heed of that. Was it a pinched nerve, do you mind me
Yes,
asking?
it was in my neck, just a paralyzation of one of the nerves.
Did you fall? What?
No, I was dancing on concrete, and it was cold. There was a lot of air conditioning in the building, and it just snapped.
Wow, that's so you've never had a scare then from a height or
I have
anything?
fallen from the silks, of course.
Oh, you do silks
In
too?
training, yeah.
I remember when they first came out, I was so fascinated by that. Just the whole, it's a beautiful art form,
Yeah.
number one. And I can't imagine the strength that it takes to, and then you drop in the roll and
Yeah.
you fell?
I did. I fell in rehearsal. I was trying to make it fit with the music, and I skipped something, and then I did the drop, and I realized halfway down that I wasn't locked in, and I was going head first towards the floor, and I was like, "Oh, I better shift myself." So I shifted over so I would land on my side, and I hit the concrete stage, and everyone in the room just stopped breathing.
I bet they did.
Yeah, but I was okay. I jumped up, I climbed back up the silk, I did the wrap again, then I climbed back down, and I didn't walk for a week.
Talk about getting back on the horse.
But I didn't have any broken bones,
Oh.
and everything was fine. I just had some internal bruising,
Uh-huh.
and it was okay. But I was lucky, but it's not just luck. You also have reflexes that are protecting you.
And to hear the story as she tells it, it sounds like, it took a minute or two, but that all happened probably in a split second.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah, you think it's such a long time
Right.
when it's happening, but then it's just like that.
Yeah, interesting, because I don't know, I've had broken bones and sprains and stuff, and all of that stuff kind of really bothers me. So now that you're settled in Vegas, but you're still coming back, you are going to go on the cruises, and you're going to be working with Connie.
Yes, I'm excited.
Is there anybody else that you would like to work for if, say, Connie wasn't in the pictures, or a show that would be like a dream, say, even a Cirque production?
I think I'd like to do my own shows. I think I'd like to do my own ideas. I love working for Connie. There's
course.
a good relationships there, but if I wasn't working for Connie, I would only want to do what I want to do. I spent a long time in my career doing different shows and working for different companies, and it's all fine and well, but sometimes you want to do things your own way.
Well, of course, I think a lot of us, we're driven by that. That's ambition. And along the course of all the skills and the talents that you've acquired, you also, from what I understand, you began to build your own props or your own devices, I guess you could call them, because every magician has their own device. I know a lot of local ones that have been on the show, like Jarrett and Raja, who are coming back on next Wednesday. They have a really wonderful show coming up at the Plaza called One Epic Night. But they've come on the show, and they'll always do a magic. I should have asked you to do a magic trick, but that's okay, because we have other things to talk about. But yeah, I don't think anybody sees anything wrong with wanting to start and spread your wings. And again, time goes so fast, we're going to have to take a quick break. But let's talk a little bit about how you began developing your own props and what kind of goes in behind that. And you must have have a mechanical mind as well, on
Yeah.
top of being gorgeous and talented. Quick shout out to the Red Roof Inn, pet friendly, across from the Hard Rock on Paradise Road in Las Vegas. Don't go away.